Yes, of course, it's something that we are asked a lot about, and I think actually more interestingly, especially with the men and women of law. I mean, when they are engaging with our comrades, mostly it's like, oh, so why do you call it Zimbabwe Yadzoka? Zimbabwe has always been there. Where was it? Where is it coming from? But you know, when we were thinking about this idea of engaging people, you know, we thought that although we are in a situation where no form of, you know, rights or anything are guaranteed, but we need to give hope to the people. You know, we need to look beyond, because I think now, I mean, you know, our current president, Robert Mugabe, is 93 years. And he's going to be 94, and he is the official candidate for the ruling party, Zanu-PF. And so I mean, from there, the name actually suggested that it's not far from now that our country, you know, is back to the people, to the rightful owners. Because what we have seen, or what we see in Zimbabwe, is that there is what we call a state capture. You know, the state has been captured by Zanu-PF, institutions have been captured. So fundamentally, we are Zimbabweans living, but our country is not existent. You see, it's like we are foreigners. I mean, at every opportunity, every Zimbabwean is trying to go out of the country, you know, which speaks volumes. So when we say Zimbabwe Yadzoka, we are giving people hope that, okay, let's wait. Although we are suffering, but now look, you and I, we are now engaging. You and I now, we are now talking about, you know, these strategies to bring back our country. In that process, our country is already back. Because I think the liberation of people doesn't, you know, the day of liberation is just a day, but it's a process to arrive there. And this is the process that we are already in as Zimbabweans. This is why we are saying, okay, our country is here, Maibuya is Zimbabwe. So what we are just now waiting is to fulfill the promise, you know, in the next coming elections. So this is why we encourage every Zimbabwean, I mean, across, you know, different political parties, across gender, across race, that let's go and register. Let's go and register and vote en masse, so that we reclaim our country back, this beautiful country, Zimbabwe. Yeah, well, it's a very interesting question, but I will also try to answer it, you know, in honesty. Zimbabwe Yadzoka at the present moment, or generally as social movements, if I may say, okay, our role now is to try to engage citizens, to make citizens excited, I know, about this political and developmental discourse. And also to be a watchdog, you know, of course, of Zanu-PF that has run down our country, but also of opposition political forces. So in this citizens movement must not be mistakenly seen as supporters or very, very close allies of opposition parties. We support opposition parties because we are fighting for the same thing currently. But my point is we are watchdog, you know, for the citizens, to expressing citizens' interests. So what we are doing, at least as Zimbabwe Yadzoka, is a demand for a grand coalition, because we have heard from many politicians that this is impossible, we can't do that. And from certain politicians or political parties that this we can do it alone. So we are saying, look, no, this can't be done alone. People have been voting for change since 2000. Okay? And on many occasions, including 2008 election, the victory was stolen from the people. So let's now create a space for everybody to be engaged, to be involved in the process. And with a grand coalition, we are creating this space where not only political parties are involved, but also social movements are part of that process, or of supporting that process. When it comes to the leadership, what we are doing is to give space to political parties to say, look, as citizens, what we want, or what people are saying, because as you are aware, Zimbabwe Yadzoka is now in 10 provinces, and we are going around country, you know, giving people voices, and people are demanding this coalition from their political leaders. But we are saying to politicians, look, this is what people are saying. Why can't you people sit down and discuss, you know, about this coalition? So it's up to the political leaders to come up with a formula, or to come up with a kind of a leadership that is going to help us to reclaim the country. But this, we are doing that, or we are giving them this window of opportunity to a certain point, because elections are going to be next year, so we don't have much time. So if we see that there is a lot of bickering going on and the politicians are not being decisive. Of course, social movements, in the end, we are forced, or as Zimbabwe Yadzoka, we are also forced to bring in a voice concerning to that, the issue of leadership. But for now, it's an issue that we don't want to talk about. It's an issue we respect that politicians, they are doing it, and they are doing it in honesty, and they are doing this because they love the country, because this is what should be the most important point, loving the country. So to me, it's not exactly who is going to be our presidential candidate. But what matters to me, or to Zimbabwe Yadzoka, or to Zimbabweans, is, are we going to be a united front? Are we going to be voting for one presidential candidate? Are we going to vote for a one MP in a constituency against the Zanu-PF? But like I said, if the process takes time, social movements may be forced to come in also with a voice on the issue of leadership.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.